Swole Benji here. Today, I wanted to show you my entire net worth on Albion Online. This has been about 1 year and a few months journey on this account, this character, my islands, everything that's owned. So I just want to show it off, just to show you what you can achieve in this game in 1 year. So let's start off with one of my favorite mounts, the Avalonian Basilisk, with a value of, it's 21.6 million. And this is like driving a Lambo in this game, okay? This thing is super ultra rare. You have to do an Avalonian raid boss for it to drop, and only one person gets it, I think. You can also craft it with a saddled swamp dragon and like 3,000 Avalonian energy, which costs way more than the mount. 3,000 Avalonian energy is super expensive, right? I think it's like 30 million. So yeah, you can pay 30.5 million to make this, or you can get it from a raid boss drop. I did not get this from a raid boss drop because I do not do group content. I only do solo content. I straight up bought this thing for 20 million. It's freaking cool. It sparkles. It's very fast, 115% speed all the time, even when attacked, and it has a cool ability to slow attackers. Oh, and they take damage now. I don't remember that. And slows their attack speed. Anyway, this is like my Lambo. So let's go into my net worth. I'm not trying to flex. I just want to show you what's achievable in 1 year of game time. Let's start with this chest. This is purely from farms, and I'm hoarding this up so I can make potions. I'm going to be leveling my potion crafting. Whenever there's a fame week. What a fame week is when globally everything you do in the game, you get 25% additional fame. So what I'm going to do, let me show you my specs as well, because I want to show off what's achievable in a year. Alright, so herbalism, we're going to go to, there it is, alchemy. Alchemy is at 100, and on this character, poison brewing is at 100. My goal is to get all of these to 100, and I'm waiting for fame week to be able to push energy, healing, bootlegging, and sticky and resistance brewing. I'll have to do invisibility separate because that's only tier 8 materials. So I won't be able to do that during the next fame week, but you get the idea, right? And then in this chest, there's even more farm materials. 14 million in this one, 18 million in this one. So pretty good amount. And then this chest is just empty, it's whatever. Alright, so in this chest, this is where I keep all my tier 8.3 gear. I got quite a bit of it. Went on a bit of a shopping spree because my premium ends in 5 hours and I'm not renewing again until July. The very last day of June through July is when I'll renew. Unless there's a fame week sometime in between, but July is usually the fame month because that's the game's anniversary. So here's my items. I do have some like tier 6 random stuff in here. This is for faction fighting, so I don't have to pay a huge freaking honkin' repair bill. You can check out my other videos for some faction fight builds that are on the cheap and give you lots of points. You can see a lot of 8.3 gear. I actually rebought bolt casters because of the Spectre Jacket nerf. I sold Spectre Jacket earlier today, and I was really sad about it because I paid 18 million for it. I only got 4 million back. Big ouch. Energy Shaper, yep, that's right. Lots of armors. Also lots of 4.1s if I want to do corrupted dungeons or, stalker dungeons or arena. I'm not going to bring tier 8 in arena because of the repairs. I got a couple bears in here. You got the husky, regular horse, Black Panther, the combat mule. Combat mule's cool, man. I wish this thing was worth more. I got some skins. I got this cape skin. And then in this chest, this is my gathering kind of chest. I've got more mounts, more seasonal mounts. Morgana Raven for bullying. I've got the Crystal Behemoth. This thing's worth 14 million. Ancient Int, the Crystal Ancient Int, worth 11 million. I bought these. I did not join a guild for these. Oh, last value of the chest was 53.8 million. Value of this one is 42.8 million. I've got 420. I am straight edge, by the way. Funny that the video time was 420 when I pulled this up. That's very convenient. Siphon energy, of course, right now, one siphon energy is worth 4.8. So if you followed my advice video where I was like, in 2 months' time, this thing is going to go up. It went up. It's time to sell, guys. Time to sell. I have this luxury cart skin. I had the Lynx skin. I just sold it earlier so I could buy all my 8.3s because the price jumped up and I think it's going to sit at that price for a while. These are journals. I've got lots of Avalonian gathering gear. You can see tier 8 axe, tier 6 skinning knife, Very cool, lots of filled journals ready to go when I start playing again. I've got 145 tier 5 tinkerers that I can use on character. I can make a tutorial character spend 15 minutes and utilize 145 of these bad boys to get free resources, essentially. This is a chest that I used to share with Chad Gamers, but due to the Discord falling out and some of the Chads kind of backstab me, I don't share it currently. But for my alts, I've got like Great Nature Staff. I've got all manner of tiers of bolt casters. Just some gear to like do daily dungeons if necessary, to do daily expeditions. Check out my video on that. That's 900,000 silver per hour. You guys should be doing that. Also beds. I'm waiting for beds to go back up right now. The beds are at 4,000 value. So they have went kind of back up. They're not back up to 8,000 though. I'm sitting on these beds. I'm waiting, man. I am waiting. All right. Basically, I have tons of these houses, tons of these. These are all empty, by the way. I've already showed these off in another video. But that's pretty much my entire net worth. Let me show off my main farmland here. Let's just go to my main island real quick. Also, I have 30 million silver spread across multiple accounts, just in case, you know, like I need silver for something major. So that's another 30 million. I have 7.5 thousand gold on this account. How much is that worth? Right now, that's worth 21 million. So I have 51 million in raw spending money that I could spend right now. I've got, this is a 4 farmlands and 1 pasture. And then besides this one, I have 10 more islands with 10 more islands with 4 pastures, or 4 farmlands, whatever. And then I have some borrowed islands from friends that have quit the game and no longer play. This one has 3. And also, this isn't my stuff. This is my friend's stuff. If he ever comes back, his stuff is still waiting in the chest here. And yeah, that's pretty much my net worth. Let's see, there's another borrowed island I have. And yeah, this one's got 4 on it as well. 3 farms and a pasture. I'm experimenting. And his items, I'm still waiting for him to return. Nothing too crazy. He's got some invisibility potions. I guess he likes ganking. Of course he loved ganking. That's what he did. That's what all my friends did, and I never got to really participate. Alright, so that is my monetary worth in the game. I didn't keep a total, but you can rewind the video if you want to count. So let's look at my destiny board. So crafting, I didn't really do much crafting on this character. I do have crafting alts, but when I first started, I maxed out bow crafting, and then I started to max out warbow, but warbow just went to shit. So I started bows. I got that to 53. I got warbow to 83. That's when I kind of stopped. When the corrupted dungeons hit, it was no longer profitable. I didn't really oh yeah, I crafted a little bit of torches because there was a opportunity in the market, and I took advantage of that. Also, a little bit on armor. Nothing really much else. And tomes. And bags. I experimented with bags, and it was a failure. So, don't recommend bags and capes. Now, here's my refining, right? What I used to do is anytime there was a market influx that allowed me to profit immediately, which I used third-party programs like Albion Online 2D and other APIs, I would just run to that town and refine like crazy. So I leveled up cloth, leather, metal, but I was mainly wood. So I maxed out wood planting tier 4 and tier 5. I didn't really do much after that. A little bit of tier 6. Nothing really after that, because it just wasn't profitable. Also, I became a lumberjack. That was the first thing I did in the game, was hit tier 8 lumberjack. I did not do this by harvesting tier 8, tier 7, or tier 6 goods. You can see my tier 6 lumberjacking is only level 2, but my tier 5 is 35 and my tier 4 is 70. That's what I mostly did, and it used to be really good, like 2 to 3 million an hour, but now it's like barely 3 to 400,000. Also, I've got tier 6 in skinning, and then tier 5 in fishing, mining, cloth harvesting, everything else. So yeah, that's as far as harvesting goes. I experimented a tiny bit with horses and goose, but I stopped because it was really bad. Potatoes and cabbage, I only leveled up these because I needed to have the roast food on patch day way back in the day. So I leveled up crops to like 50, 52, and Herbalism, I've maxed out, absolutely. I've got 85 in Burdock, I've got 76 in Comfrey, and I have alts with very high levels of this too. So if I just spend on premium, I can have an alt running that can water tons of plants and make tons of money. Alright, so here's cooking at 71. I leveled it to at least 60 so I could cook, where's it at? The roast pork. This is the only thing I cared about because I wanted this on day one. I assumed the markets would be empty and the crafting benches would be drained. So I did this in preparation so I could farm group dungeons solo very efficiently. And yeah, come down here, level 10 in roasts, salad chef because I used to do crafting, and soup chef because soups are good. Cabbage soup is amazing. So let's get into the combat now. Okay, I've got plate boot fighter maxed because soldier boots are so amazing for open world, and guardian boots are so amazing. Back in the day when you would dungeon dive someone, this was the best boot to have because you could man fight someone and you would always win if you had this on it, if they didn't run away. The other boots, you know, their levels aren't so much. Plate armor, I started the game, besides being a lumberjack, I was a tank, so I leveled up guardian armor and soldier armor. But I dropped out of tanking because I kept getting ganked, and it was just suffering. So 68 on that, never bothered to max it. For plate helmets, you can see like almost nothing. There's guardian helmet because that's meta. It's also what I used for dungeons. Knight helmet, use that for a bit. Helmets only 67. Yikes. Swords, I got a little bit into swords. This is from using fame credits. I did not level this to 50 because I wanted to unlock increased defense passive because I wanted to test it out. I never did get to unlock parry strike. I have played with it. I watch a lot of E-Court, so I just kind of like live swords through him. Shout out to E-Court. You can see Galatine Pear, Carving Sword. I really liked Carving Sword. I don't know, like if I could go back, I might be a Carving Sword guy, but you know, as a YouTuber, E-Court, that's his niche, that's his thing. I don't want to take that from him. I don't want to like copycat him. So that's kind of why I stopped leveling it. Clarent Blade is really fast. I didn't really like Claymores that much. Alright, so when I first started, you know, as a lumberjack, I'm like, I'm going to be an axe fighter. So I maxed out axes. You know, I followed Reddit's advice and Google's advice. Maxed out the great axe. As everyone says that you should, but you shouldn't if you've watched my channel. Then I started to max out battle axe because I wanted to max all the axes to min-max great axe. But as soon as the test realm allowed you to maximize your specs and do DPS tests, I found out that maxing all of the axes was a terrible idea and it did not boost great axe damage all that much at all. And at the same time, I discovered crossbows. So here we have maces. I really like maces. This is what I used for tanking. I mostly used the, the Incubus mace. So back in the day, your artifact maces were not split. They were all one category. So I got this to level 7, which would be like level 28 or 35 in today's world, but you know, it all split. So also the regular mace, I started leveling that up for a while, but again I stopped because I stopped tanking. Hammers, okay, here's the thing, here's the story with hammers. I never used hammers. This is all from fame credits. There's a YouTuber, I forget his name, but the titles of his video are called The Greatest Hammer, and I so wanted to do what he was doing in those videos. He used a great hammer and he would charge in and like slam 5 dudes in the face for like 2,000 damage and kill them all. And it was so cool, and I was like, yeah, I want to do that too. So I dumped all I could into Hammer Fighter, and I am unspecking out of this because it is garbage. And then I spec'd like 48 into Great Hammer Specialist. I totally regret this. I don't recommend hammers at all for a solo player. Now, you guys know I'm a crossbow chat. I've got crossbow max. I've got every single crossbow. 700 out of 700. That's right. It is completely maxed, and think for that. Shield fighter, leveling up with new gear when using one-handed items. I would just use a regular shield. So you can see here, decent leveled. I don't really use one-handed shields that much because there's no reason to in PvE. If you're doing PvE, use a crypt candle because that gives you the most damage. Alright, of course, leather shoes are maxed out, and initially I started with, where is it at? The Hellion shoes. That was the first one I maxed out. I maxed out Spectre shoes in a video just for the ganking build. Just to kill gatherers. This is my shoe of choice. Everything else that's leveled is from fame credits or just from wearing them randomly while doing Black Zone dungeons. Hunter shoes, I leveled that for a while because of the crowd control as a tank. I wanted more crowd control. Yeah. Leather armor. Leather armor's maxed, of course. I've got mercenary max. I even made a video about this assassin jacket max because I use it in builds. I was working on stalker jacket, but the damage is so poor. Hellion. I love Hellion jacket. This poor Spectre jacket. I'm so sorry. I would spec out of this, but it weakens my other armors, and so I'm never going to unspec out of this. Jacket of Tenacity. It's alright. It's pretty good. Leather hood fighter, of course. A Hunter hood was one of the first things that I maxed out besides Spectre hood and Stalker hood. The leather helmets are so amazingly useful. They're probably the best class of helmet in the game. Assassin hood will definitely be next for maxing. Hood of Tenacity sucks. I'm probably going to level that last. And then Hellion hood is only good for like bows and Trinity staff, honestly. There's really not much use for that. Bows, I started the game, like my first weapon was bow and it was weird and clunky, so I just kind of dropped it. Got it to 14 though. Spears, I liked spears for a while until I found out that every spear user I found in the open world I was able to kill. So I stopped leveling spears. Got it to 35. A nature staff, this was purely from fame credits using crossbows. I maxed this out because the PvP build with Druidic Staff is my favorite in the entire game. If I have to man fight someone, if I'm in town and someone wants to duel for 20 million silver, this is what I'm going to use to beat them, is the Druidic Staff. So I maxed that out. I put everything else into these evenly, so these are at 11 and these are at 22. And if I had to max another, it'd Great Nature Staff because it's so damn good. Daggers, I made a video about daggers. I've got it to 100 through fame credits. I've got Death Givers to 100. I used dagger a long time ago when it was like the go-to solo group dungeon weapon, but it got nerfed, so I only got it to 26. Everything else I just kind of dicked around with, didn't really like it. Quarterstaffs, I hate quarterstaffs, they suck, they're being nerfed. You can see I don't touch them. Torch Specialist, I really should get around to maxing these, so let's just do that real quick. You can see how it only costs like 300,000, and there we go. So, that empowers my Crypt Candle just a tiny bit more. The Mist Caller, the Torch. And, you know, that's why I maxed those out. So torches, maxed out. You witnessed it. Witness me, spray paint's teeth. Alright, so Cloth Sandal Fighter. You know, you gotta have that Royal Sandals max. This is the best boot in the whole damn tree. Very good for damage. I would like to max Cultist Sandals if it ever gets buffed. I really like Druid Sandals, but I can't find a use for them. Cleric Sandals are super fun. Absolutely fun. Alright, now we have Cloth Robe Fighter, also maxed. Scholar Robe maxed. Druid Robe maxed, of course. Sadly, I don't like Cultist Robe, they got nerfed. Fiend Robe is for ganking only. You know, there's Mage Robe, if I had to pick the next one to max, it'd be Cleric Robe. Alright, because Cleric Robe is just so damn good. Cloth Cowl Fighter. Scholar Cowl. Mage Cowl, of course, for ganking. Not much else really in here. Fiend Cowl is pretty cool because the higher level this is, the longer you silence, and Cultist Cowl, if I had to choose one, I would max this out because Cultist Cowl is just a better Mage Cowl. It absolutely is. Most players will not stop doing actions when they're cursed with this, and they will take so much damage, and mobs just get melted by it. Alright, what else we got? This is the Pyromancer. I really like Fire Staff, but they have no movement abilities for PvP. That's why I haven't really touched it at all. Blazing Staff, really good for PvE. Pretty sure it's the Blazing one, the one that summons the Fire Tornado. Everything else is kind of meh. I don't touch Holy Staffs at all because Great Nature is just better. Unless you're a Hallowfall player, but I did touch it a tiny bit because I did some group dungeon healing way a long time ago. Obviously, Arcanist or Arcane Staffs, haven't touched them. That's for like ZVZ stuff, and I don't feel like buffing other people. Frost Staff, I experimented a bit with it. Not much, didn't really like it. Curse Staffs, I got it to 43. I played this for quite a while. I used to use Curse Staffs all the time when skinning. And I actually started that again with Live Curse Staff, but I got the regular Curse Staff to 20. This thing scales so damn good. You've seen my video on it. You know how good this scales. I just wish I had more fame credits to dump into this. After I max out Bow, this is the next thing I'm going to max out as Curse Staff. And then, of course, finally, we have the Tome Fighter, which I don't really use tomes that much, but when I did, I used the book because it was cheap. But, like, the Eye of Secrets is completely worthless. The Moizak is completely worthless because the Crypt Candle does everything it does better. Taproot is amazing, but Taproots are so expensive. And then the Celestial Censer, it's getting nerfed. And and I'm not really much of a healer anyway. So yeah, that's my Destiny board, guys. That's 1 year of playing Albion Online. I know it's kind of like a gloat video. It's kind of like whatever. Put that back in there. So just to figure, 75.5 plus 42.8 plus 14 plus 18 plus 4.7. And then I have like 52 million in spendable income spread out. I have 145 tinkerers, and I didn't show it off, but I have like tier 8 mercenary laborers just randomly in houses, and I have 200 to 300 of these bad boys. Well, these are level 7 because they're not level 8 yet, but most of them are level 8 that I own. And yeah, every single one of these houses is filled with them. I've got so many personal islands filled with them. Anyway, that's the video. Kill the bunnies, of course, and of course my island is just filled with placeable objects because autism. I don't know, guys. Anyway, that's how much wealth and power I have accumulated in 1 year of playing this game. If you look at my stats, I am spread out on multiple characters, so my fame is only 126 million, which is not that much in the grand scheme. It's really not that much. People look at this and they think that this number is really tiny, but I play on alts. This is my YouTuber character account, okay? This is my YouTuber character account that I use for videos. I have other characters that have plenty of stuff maxed in other things. Crafting alts, I've got farm alts, I've got so many alts that I play on, because I mostly played this like as a farm sim. This is my kind of video character. This is not my main character, okay? Because if I play on this character, I get followed constantly. Anyway, that's it. I'm SwolPidgey. Thanks for watching. As always, be a bro and stay swole, and make sure you return to shop your carts. I'll see you in the next one.